What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Charles Oliveira has shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Arman and Ilia, and he believes Arman would come out on top if he sticks to his usual game plan. In a recent interview, Charles explained that Arman has all the tools to win, especially if he focuses on wrestling and controlling the fight on the ground. According to Charles, the key is pressure, constant movement, and consistent takedowns. If Arman fights the way he normally does, pushing forward and forcing Ilia into uncomfortable positions, then he has a very strong chance of winning. Charles said that once Arman gets Ilia down, he can dominate with his top control and pace. However, he also warned that standing and trading with Ilia would be extremely dangerous. He believes that if Arman chooses to strike too much and gets into a firefight, he could easily get knocked out. Charles knows this from personal experience. He reflected on his own fight with Ilia at UFC 317, where he admitted he made a mistake by abandoning his coach's game plan. Instead of mixing in wrestling, he tried to stand and trade, which led to him getting finished. In his view, discipline and smart strategy are what separate winning from losing at the highest level. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. TJ Dillashaw has shared his thoughts on Umar Nurmagomedov and his path toward a bantamweight title shot. Despite Umar's impressive win over Dvalishvili Figueiredo at UFC 324 and his current ranking at number 3 in the division, just behind Merab, Dillashaw believes Umar still needs more victories before earning another crack at the title. Dillashaw emphasized that wins alone aren't always enough in the modern UFC landscape. He explained that star power often plays a role in who gets fast-tracked to title shots, citing Sean O'Malley as an example. While O'Malley's performances have been solid, Dillashaw pointed out that part of why he secured a title fight was due to his marketability and the excitement he brings to fans. According to Dillashaw, Umar doesn't yet have that kind of star power, so he needs to make an even stronger statement inside the cage. He said Umar must dominate his opponents in a convincing fashion, ideally finishing fights decisively and demoralizing his competition. Only by doing so will he make it impossible for the UFC to deny him a title opportunity. Dillashaw also mentioned that Merab will likely take some time before returning to the octagon, which could open the door for other top contenders, but Umar has to make a clear case. The key, according to Dillashaw, is that Umar must combine skill with undeniable cage dominance. If he can do that, then he will be ready for a legitimate shot at the Bantamweight Championship. Moving on to another news, Merab is set to fight Petr Yan next, but not at the White House. Following UFC 324, many fans started questioning whether Sean O'Malley would be added into the title picture after his recent win. However, Merab has now shut down those rumors and shared new details during a recent interview with Full Violence. He explained that the UFC has already guaranteed him the next title shot and recognized the work he has put in over the years. Merab said they saw his dedication, his improvement, and his consistency inside the cage. He reminded everyone that he defeated Petr in 2023, then suffered a loss in 2025, showing how competitive their rivalry has been. When asked about the special White House card, Merab made it clear that his upcoming fight would not take place there. He added that he honestly does not care about the location at all. White House, Black House, UFC Apex, or even his backyard, as long as it is under the UFC banner, he is ready to compete. His focus remains winning and capturing the championship. For Merab, the goal is simple: fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, and prove he belongs at the top of the division. Moving on to another news, we have some unfortunate updates regarding Petr Yan. Yesterday, it was revealed that he underwent a long and serious surgical procedure that lasted nearly 9 hours. Yan shared the news himself on his Instagram story, explaining that he was under anesthesia for the entire operation and had surgery on his lower back. He told fans that he expects to be back in action in a couple of months, but at the moment, there are still many unknowns about his recovery. As of now, no one knows exactly what caused the issue, but lower back surgery is always a major concern for fighters. Depending on how his body responds, Petr could be sidelined for 6 months or even longer. This situation now raises questions about Merab's future plans. Will he take another fight while waiting, or stay patient and prepare for a rematch later in the summer, or possibly in the fall? His next move could shape the division. Moving on to another news, Charles Oliveira has opened up about how his preparation is going for his next UFC fight and shared insight into his mindset heading into a massive matchup. In the same interview, Charles spoke in detail about his current training camp and how he is feeling just weeks out from stepping back into the octagon. In a little over a month, Charles is scheduled to fight Max Holloway at UFC 326 on March 7th with the BMF title on the line. When asked about his preparation, Charles said he is genuinely happy with how everything has been progressing so far. He explained that the training has been strong, his mindset is clear, and both his mind and spirit feel aligned at this stage of camp. For him, that mental balance is just as important as physical readiness. Charles added that he hopes everything continues smoothly so that when fight night arrives, the focus is simple, doing what he believes he was born to do. He also mentioned that his team is spending a lot of time studying footage and building the best possible game plan for Max. However, he acknowledged that fans are drawn to him because of his aggressive style, always moving forward, applying pressure, and hunting for finishes. That approach, while exciting, comes with risks. Charles admitted that this same mindset played a role in his loss to Ilia, where pushing forward and trading strikes ultimately cost him the fight. Applying pressure is entertaining, but at the highest level, one clean shot can completely change everything. Charles also shared his interest in potentially fighting on the UFC White House card. He said that any fighter would want the chance to compete in such a historic setting and leave a lasting legacy. To him, it would be something magical and completely unique. However, he was clear that many factors still need to fall into place. One of the biggest factors is whether Ilia decides to move up a weight class. If that happens, the title would become vacant, and Justin, who currently holds the interim belt, could see that title unified into the undisputed championship. Charles explained that while he is very interested in that possibility, he only focuses on one thing at a time. Right now, his entire focus is on Max, putting on a great performance and securing a big win. If he can do that, he believes it would place him in a strong position for something even bigger. Still, none of that matters unless he gets through Max first. And when you look at Holloway's recent performances, excluding Ilia, he remains a very tough challenge for Charles. Moving on to another news, Dana White has revealed that he actually prefers the flyweight division over the heavyweight division, and his recent comments surprised many fans. Years ago, it seemed like the UFC was close to shutting down the flyweight division altogether. At the time, the division struggled with popularity, and there were serious discussions about removing it from the roster. However, after strong backlash from hardcore fans, the UFC decided to keep it alive. Looking back now, it seems like Dana is very happy that decision was made. Recently, he appeared in a question and answer session with CBS Mornings, where he was asked a series of rapid-fire questions about his preferences and personal tastes. During the segment, he was asked whether he preferred submissions or knockouts. Dana admitted that both are great, explaining that a high-level submission finish can be just as exciting as a knockout in boxing. Still, as someone who loves striking, he said he would lean toward knockouts. He was also asked whether he preferred Dana White's Contender Series or Fight Nights, and he quickly chose the Contender Series, calling it his favorite. When asked about coffee or energy drinks, Dana said he prefers energy drinks because he hates the taste of coffee. For early mornings or late nights, he chose late nights without hesitation. Then came the question many fans found most interesting, whether he is more of a heavyweight or a flyweight guy. After thinking about it for a moment, Dana said he is definitely a flyweight guy. This answer stood out, especially since heavyweights have traditionally been some of the biggest stars in the sport. He was also asked about social media, choosing Instagram over TikTok, and when given the option between cold plunges and saunas, he said both are important and that you cannot just choose one. He even shared that he had done a cold plunge earlier that morning. Overall, Dana's answers showed his appreciation for skill, speed, and technical ability, qualities that are often seen in the flyweight division, and they highlighted how much his perspective on the sport has evolved over the years. Moving on to another news, Bisping has shared his thoughts on Paddy Pimblett's recent performance and offered both praise and criticism following his tough fight against Justin Gaethje. Speaking on the latest episode of his Believe You Me podcast, Bisping broke down what he saw inside the cage and admitted that Paddy surprised him in several ways. Bisping said that before the fight, he did not fully realize how much toughness and resilience Paddy truly had. After watching him go through 5 intense rounds, he came away impressed by Paddy's heart and determination. He explained that Paddy showed qualities that cannot be taught, including grit, courage, and the ability to keep going when things look bleak. He pointed out that Paddy was dropped multiple times and looked close to being finished on several occasions. Bisping admitted that he thought the fight was over in the first round, then again in the second, and even later in the bout. Despite all that, Paddy kept getting back up and continued to fight. According to Bisping, that kind of survival instinct deserves real respect, and Paddy should be proud of himself for pushing through such adversity. However, Bisping also made it clear that there are serious areas Paddy needs to improve. He criticized some basic technical mistakes, especially early in the fight. He noted that Paddy often keeps his chin too high and his hands too low, leaving himself wide open to big shots. In a fight against someone like Gaethje, those mistakes can be extremely dangerous. Bisping explained that when the fight starts, Paddy tends to rush forward with his defense exposed. He said that people close to Paddy, including Nick, Pete, and Adam from TNT, told him that this is simply how Paddy fights. While Bisping understands that it is part of his style, he warned that it is something that must be fixed. He emphasized that at the highest level, fighters will take advantage of those openings every time. Keeping your chin in the air and your hands down is a recipe for getting clipped and possibly knocked out. Bisping believes that if Paddy can tighten up his defense while keeping his toughness and pressure, he has the potential to become a much more dangerous and complete fighter. Overall, Bisping praised Paddy's heart and spirit, but made it clear that technical improvements are necessary if he wants to succeed against elite competition. Moving on to another news. As the UFC kicks off 2026, Dana White and the organization have started making changes to the roster, with several fighters being released in recent weeks. According to reports, one of the first names to be let go was Lucas Almeida. Almeida did not have the strongest run inside the promotion, competing 6 times and finishing with a record of 2 wins and 4 losses. He also exited the UFC on a 2-fight losing streak and missed weight in one of his bouts. So far, he has not made any public statement about his release. Another fighter who has been cut is Darius Flowers. Flowers earned his contract through Dana White's Contender Series in 2022, but struggled once he reached the main roster. He went 0-3 in the UFC and was unable to secure a win, which ultimately led to his release from the promotion. One of the most surprising names on the list is Patchy Mix. Coming into the UFC from Bellator, Mix was considered one of the most hyped prospects in his division. He had dominated his competition there and was expected to make a big impact. However, things did not go as planned. Patchy went 0-2 in the UFC, failing to find his rhythm at the highest level. In October 2025, it was also revealed that one of his previous wins from May 2024 had been overturned after he tested positive for a banned substance. It was not related to performance enhancers, but rather a recreational substance. Still, for the UFC, this appeared to be the final factor in their decision to part ways with him. Despite the setback, Patchy has already moved forward with his career. It has been confirmed that he will compete at Ryzen 52 on March 6th in Tokyo, where he is scheduled to face Kyoma Akimoto. At a recent press conference, he explained how the release process unfolded and how he handled the situation. He said that after his last fight, he waited several weeks before being informed by Ali that he would be released. Once he knew, he began thinking seriously about his future. Patchy explained that he has beaten many strong opponents in different organizations, and his main focus now is moving up to featherweight and rebuilding his image. He admitted that cutting too much weight had taken the fun out of fighting for him. He believes this transition will be crucial for his long-term success. He also said choosing Ryzen was an easy decision because of his positive experience there in 2019. He praised the Japanese fans and said he has always loved watching the promotion, making his return feel natural and exciting. Moving on to another news, longtime coach Ray Longo has shared some strong and controversial opinions about a possible fight between Ilia and Justin Gaethje, and he believes it would be a nightmare scenario for Gaethje. Speaking on the latest episode of the Anik and Florian podcast, Longo appeared alongside Chris Weidman and explained why he thinks a potential title unification bout would be extremely dangerous. Longo admitted that he is genuinely worried about Gaethje's long-term health. He claimed that Gaethje has already taken a lot of damage over the years and said he has noticed signs that concern him. According to Longo, Gaethje has started slurring his words at times, which he believes could be a result of too much punishment inside the cage. He went on to say that a fight with Ilia would almost certainly end badly. Longo described the matchup as nearly guaranteed to be a disaster. He explained that Ilia is not someone like Paddy Pimblett, who can be pushed back and absorbed. Instead, Ilia hits extremely hard, stays in the pocket, and is comfortable exchanging at close range. Based on how Ilia handled previous opponents, Longo believes Gaethje would struggle to navigate that kind of pressure. He repeated that, in his opinion, it is simply a terrible stylistic matchup and one that could lead to serious consequences. After Longo finished his comments, the hosts turned to Chris Weidman for his thoughts. Weidman agreed with much of what Longo said, admitting that it would be a very tough fight for Gaethje. However, he also pointed out that Gaethje's power is always a factor and can change a fight at any moment. He explained that in fights like this, technical strategy can sometimes disappear once heavy shots start landing. Still, Weidman emphasized that Ilia operates on a different technical level. He praised Ilia's balance, boxing skills, takedown defense, and strong jiu-jitsu. He noted that Gaethje rarely uses offensive wrestling, which means the fight would likely stay on the feet, right where Ilia is most comfortable. Weidman also said that Gaethje would not be able to pick Ilia apart the way he once did to Tony Ferguson, a fight many consider the most technical and disciplined performance of his career. Because of that, he agreed that this matchup would be extremely difficult. Gaethje was clearly unhappy with Longo's comments and later responded online. He wrote that Longo had been one of his biggest supporters after a dominant performance and added that despite the criticism, he still loves him.